Welcome to the Marvel Alliance podcast, where we cover anything and everything to do with the Marvel Universe. From the comics, TV, and movies, we'll go from the Mojoverse to Earth 616 to Queens, New York, in order to bring the Marvel Universe right to you. I'm the Uncanny Chris.
And I'm your friendly neighborhood Brent.
Alliance, assemble. Volume 93, inching ever closer to the 100th episode.
Yeah, they got to announce that Tom Holland Spider-Man movie soon, so I can get that Factor Fiction.
When you put that Factor Fiction out there, it says, man, we're rolling the dice on that one. We're not wasting any time.
I mean, to be fair, there's not exactly a big consequence to getting it wrong.
No, there's not. It's just everyone that said, "See, we told you, Brent."
That's fine. That's fine.
How's your week been?
It's been good. I really can't complain. I got some movie tickets for a movie in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Not the same day as everybody else, but I'll talk about that on Fans. And what else? Star Wars. Star Wars is cool. I had some fun with Star Wars, and that's my week.
Yep, I was able to get my ticket for the Batman on March 1st, and this will be my very first time seeing a theatrical movie in IMAX.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
enjoy.
It's people say why? Above all, I'm cheap. I'm just gonna plain and simple. $25 a movie ticket is a little much for my.
Is that what it costs you?
Yeah, because of the convenience fee with Fandango, so it's really like 21 and change. Something
what
like
kind
that.
of movie theater is it?
What do you mean?
Is it an AMC? Is it Regal?
Oh, that one's an AMC. My theater I usually go to is a Regal. This one I'm going to down a little bit further down the road is an AMC.
I was gonna say, if you have a Stubbs account, you can link that to Fandango and get those convenience fees waived.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, I don't have a Stubbs. I see movies, but I don't see movies enough to justify the monthly fee.
Well, they have a free Stubbs plan.
Oh, all right.
But
Well,
I don't know if that includes the convenience fee or not. But you should definitely look into it. I think it does. So your ticket would have been $22 plus convenience fees. Yeah,
gotcha.
We'll talk about that price amount on Fans this weekend.
There we go. Awesome preview for that.
Tease.
Yep, all in the game already in the chat. Hopefully the 3-hour runtime is justified. Oh, I have faith, Alfred faith.
Yeah, if it's half as good as I think the trailers look, it's fine. Give me the 3 hours.
All right, so let us get through the network plugs so we can get underway with these lovely pieces of news. And so we are part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network with 8 shows. On Mondays, we got my show, World's Finest True Believers, alternating bi-weekly with Ranger Alliance. Ranger Alliance was new this week, and this coming week I have a new episode dropping with a returning guest, a frequent guest of the show, but also a programming note. World's Finest will be going back-to-back for the next 2 weeks, this coming week and the following week. But the following week has been an episode that I've been looking forward to dropping. It is a timed release. We've had to delay it because the thing we'll be talking about had gotten delayed twice, and so now it is officially coming out in 2 weeks, so now we can finally drop that review. So very excited. But next week, a regular episode. But again, we'll be going back to back. So check that out. Check out the preview. And then on Tuesdays, we got DC Alliance. On Wednesdays, we got Superhero Discussions. Thursday, Star Wars Alliance. This show on Fridays. And bi-weekly on Saturdays, I'll walk through the multiverse. And Slice of Film on Sundays. That is currently on hiatus, but it'll be coming back real soon. And if you want to check these shows live, go to the Geekverse podcast YouTube channel. You can check out DC Alliance live at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Star Wars Alliance on Wednesdays at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and this show on 9:10 Eastern Standard Time, all on the Geekverse podcast YouTube channel. All 3 of those shows have their own solo podcast feed, so make sure you check that out. And we also have a Patreon, so if you want to throw a couple of shekels our way, we've got 2 tiers. $1 tier, this is our tip jar to say, hey, we're doing a good job, we appreciate it. And we've got our $5 tier with our ad-free episodes. We have ad-free episodes, Man, talking is tough tonight.
It is. It is.
Ad-free early access episodes and Patreon exclusive shows, including, yes, our Marvel Alliance MC Rewatch. We can watch this all day. In about 2 weeks, Brent and I will be recording episode 2 about Captain Marvel. So Aaron and I are going to be watching that this weekend. So
We did our homework last week. Last weekend I did that. Yep.
Yep, so we will be watching that, so be on the lookout. But we also we have the Batman 89 review, Travis Snell and Clay continuing their Batman 89 review of that comic series. And then Mr. Travis Hines dropping his top 5 favorite NES games. Joe is also doing his Multiverse minutes, looking at episode by episode of The Boys, marching to the next season dropping in June, I believe. So make sure you check all those out for all our patrons. We can't do this without your support, so thank you so much. And we also want to thank our sponsor, OrganicPriceBooks.com, for all your omnibus collected edition needs. JP and the OPB crew package books in immense, awesome packaging, very safe, great communication, ships around the world. If you use that code MarvelGAOA at checkout, you can get $2 off every single order. Again, here we've got 7 days left to secure your pre-order for some of these books that are coming out in a little bit. Excalibur, a reprint of the first volume of that storied run. Black Panther by Christopher Priest still there. The Immortal Iron Fist and Omnibus. So we've got some great stuff for your Marvel fans. Also has DC, so make sure you check that out and use that code MarvelGUA at checkout for every single order. Again, we want to thank Organic Price Books for being our sponsor. So I am just about to tweet out the link for our live show, so because I was a little bit behind with that. So now that is all done. Gotta love behind the scenes work when it comes up late.
It's all right.
It's all right. All right, man. I don't pay attention to chat and it's already going off.
All in the Game made a comment about countdown to James Cameron possibly getting salty about No Way Home passing Avatar domestically, either probably this weekend or next. And I just pointed out, well, until Avatar's next re-release, but it is likely to happen. And just like in game with Avatar worldwide, the initial runs of the movies, in game and Spider-Man, they're gonna take those spots.
Yeah,
but total. When you add it all up together, Avatar will still wear the crown.
Oh, yeah, one more thing I plug about Organic Price Books. Got this in the mail the other day.
That was hefty looking. How big is that thing?
Not too bad. Jason Aaron's run of Wolverine and the X-Men. Wolverine being the headmaster of the Jean Grey School for Hired Learning.
Yep, good stuff there.
Yep, all built on the back of Krakoa,
That's, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I forgot about that.
So, all right. Well, we've got some news. We have lots of casting to go over. So let me pull up my notes right here. So first one, if you have looked at the kind of our thumbnail art, Mr. Russell Crowe is coming back. And we haven't seen him in the MCU yet. He has been cast in Thor: Love and Thunder, supposedly as Zeus. Well, he's got the Marvel bug, but not going to be continuing in the MCU, at least right now. He has joined Aaron Taylor Johnson's Sony Marvel movie, Kraven the Hunter. This is coming from Hollywood Reporter as an exclusive. So the Oscar winner will join, Aaron Taylor Johnson signed a multi-picture deal to play the anti-hero. So that one I was kind of surprised they said multi-picture deal for Aaron Taylor Johnson. The first film is slated for January 13th, 2023. Story details, including Crowe's role, are being kept in a cage, but many of the main characters are said to be Kraven's family members. J.C. Chandor is directing the film from a screenplay by Art Markham and Matt Holloway and Richard Wenk. Avi Arad and Matt Tilmach are producing. Kraven will be Crowe's second entry into Marvel filmmaking. On the Disney side, the actor is said to be playing Zeus in Taika Waititi's Thor: Love and Thunder, opening in July. His other upcoming on-screen roles include Apple and Skydance's The Greatest Bear Run Ever. Boris Kit kind of had some follow-up to this. We had talked about this a couple of episodes back about this rumor, but apparently the rumor that Jodie Turner-Smith, rumored to be playing the character Calypso, has not been cast in Kraven per Boris Kit sources. Also, this might tie into who possibly Russell Crowe is playing. The Ankler the other day said that Oscar nominee Cody Smith-McPhee was offered the role of Chameleon in this movie, but they were told a scheduling issue left him unable to pursue, and therefore has turned it down. So, two theories right now are he's being one of Kraven's family members, or he is now going to be our Chameleon. How do you feel about let's go with the idea of the Chameleon. What do you feel? How do you feel about if Russell Crowe plays the Chameleon?
Well, it seems weird based on every interpretation of those two characters I've ever seen, because they've always been treated more as brothers. Chameleon being like an adopted brother into the Kravinoff family, as I remember, and they were always closer in age than Aaron Taylor Johnson and Russell Crowe be. I saw this and just thought of Russell Crowe playing Kraven's father.
Yeah,
I even thought, well, if he was Kraven, then I would have thought Aaron Taylor Johnson was playing like one of his kids, like the Grim Hunter. But clearly that's not the way we're going either, unless the Grim Hunter is Kraven also technically. So maybe that is what's going to happen, and maybe they're going to just mix it up on us that way. I don't know. But my real guess is his dad. But, Chameleon is a character that I would like to see involved, for sure. So, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, it just seems, like you said, the interpretation of Chameleon is being kind of this... Russell Crowe's a very built guy, and Chameleon is not known for his being kind of that kind of stature. It's not saying we can't have a different interpretation of Chameleon, but it would kind of strike in okay, we're taking a change in left field with this one. With looking at who they were going with, I could definitely buy Cody Smith McPhee being it, but Russell Crowe, I don't know. I'm kind of with you. It's definitely one of the family members, maybe his dad, maybe an older uncle. I don't know, someone tied to the family because of his, again, how he's built. He can definitely, and again, Aaron Taylor Johnson has said he's going to have to get much more bulked up than what he even did for Kick-Ass. So it's going to be interesting again. So if the Calypso role is still in play, who's going to play that? Who's Russell Crowe playing? It's very interesting. But again, Russell Crowe's got the bug. He's must have had a good enough time on Thor: Love and Thunder. I don't know when this offer was put out to him, but it wasn't such a bad experience that he said, you know what, let's continue on with this.
It is kind of cool that he wanted to do another Marvel project. I mean, it's Russell Crowe. You can't be that upset.
All in the Game saying, surprised as the writer-director that J.C. Chandor isn't writing the Kraven script, given that he's written all his other movies. Yeah, that is interesting. David Reese, welcome. Welcome to the chat. I'm in it only here if he reveals his identity, then says, "Are you not entertained?"
I understood that reference.
Yes,
no,
I
have not seen that movie. I've seen most of it. I've seen a good chunk of it.
Really?
David, I haven't. No.
Wow.
No.
Okay. All right, well, we will see. So, as I think when we've talked a couple of episodes back, that the rumor of this movie starting production is coming very, very soon.
Yeah,
so
it is.
I think within the next couple of months, hopefully we'll start seeing some set picks and more casting announcements. So that'll be good. Again, was I looking for a Kraven the Hunter movie? No. Will I see it? Yes, I will see it. Will I enjoy it? Not sure yet. But I will go in with an open mind.
We'll find out.
Yep.
We'll see where your confidence lies for that after we see Morbius.
Yes, we will. All right, next casting. Again, like the other day, we got a lot of stuff that's dropping. It just felt like, all right, Book of Boba Fett's over. Let's start dropping some other things to make people move on to the next thing, And so we got the Kraven with Russell Crowe. Now we've got an Ironheart update. So Anthony Ramos lands secret role in upcoming Marvel series Ironheart. The In the Heights star, Anthony Ramos, looks to have entered the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Sources tell Deadline that he is set for a key role in the Ironheart series. While details behind the role are unknown, sources tell Deadline that it will be similar to how Jonathan Majors was introduced as Kang the Conqueror in Loki, where he is expected to not only have a big role in this series, but in future Marvel projects as well. For just a quick reminder, Ironheart will star Dominique Thorne as the character Riri Williams, a genius inventor and a character of the most that creates a advanced suit of armor, similar to Iron Man. Chinaka Hodge was recently tapped as the head writer for the series, and the show was first announced being in development at the Investors Day in December 2020. Williams was first introduced in Marvel Comics in 2016, the creation of Brian Michael Bendis and artist Mike Deodato. In the comics, she is a 15-year-old MIT student and reverse engineers the Iron Man's armor to create an Iron Man armor of her own. While the premiere date for the series is still to be determined, insiders have told Deadline that Williams is expected to make her debut in the upcoming Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which bows in November. Since his breakout role as one of the original cast members of Hamilton, Ramos has been on the rise, with Bradley Cooper soon tapping him for a role in his A Star is Born remake. That leading man status is only expected to grow with the highly anticipated adaptation of Lin-Manuel Miranda's In the Heights. So he's been on that rise since. On top of that, he was recently tapped to star in the latest Transformers picks, Transformers Rise of the Beast, which is set to bow in next year in June. Two options I'm kind of thinking for him.
Let's hear it.
We've heard, well, I take it back, two, maybe three. Maybe he's Ezekiel Stone, the Obadiah Stane child in the comics. Mm-hmm. The idea that there's been previous rumors saying that could feature a bunch of tech bros among the ranks. Family's name has also been a cameo in Hawkeye, so maybe trying to build that back in. Another option could be the Hood, petty criminal in the possession of a mystical hood that grants superpowers.
Is that Parker Robbins?
I think, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Am I remembering that right?
Or I saw this rumor the other day. This is a big stretch, so this is definitely not one I'm putting out there, but possibly Dr. Doom, Victor Von Doom. Would be, it's that is a stretch. That is one I was like, that is a big swing at that point.
So I've seen In the Heights and I've seen Hamilton, which he's in both of these.
Yep.
Very, very different roles, neither of which gave me even an ounce of thinking he has Victor Von Doom in him. The Parker Robbins idea is the Hood. I had not considered that. That's interesting. I really, the first thing that came to my mind too was Obadiah Stane's kid, Ezekiel, because I had heard those rumors that he's allegedly coming. I was like, well, maybe because we know this show is going to have connections to Iron Man. We just don't know what yet, but can't have Ironheart without being connected to Iron Man in some way, shape, or form. The Hood is an interesting one. Are people speculating that, or was that something you came up with?
A few people have been speculating it at that point and kind of digging into it a little bit more. I was like, yeah, that could be.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Hood, it feels like, for a couple years in the comics, but I could see it.
Hood has made a recent appearance in Amazing Spider-Man. So it has
right.
has not dropped. Maybe in Marvel Unlimited, but it was last week or the week before he has made an appearance.
I did hear that he showed up in Spider-Man, and he had some stuff in like Avengers and things too, I believe.
But I do like this idea again that we're getting another character, like they said, like Jonathan Majors, that whoever he's playing, not only are they confident in him as an actor to be not just tied to this series and be done, but that they want more for him to do. So yeah. Marvel is very good at, again, tapping these younger stars or these stars that, are just on the rise and saying, hey, we got a part for you and we want you to stay with us for a while.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I liked him in those other movies, so my wife was happy when I told her that he was joining because she's a fan of him for sure.
Oh yeah, no, in the Heights, I really enjoyed it. Hamilton, big fan. And what was All in the Game said he was great in the latest season of HBO's In Treatment. And yep, the Hood was in Black Cat Beyond 2 weeks ago. Yes.
Thank you.
So it'll be interesting. Again, I like, even though production has not started on Ironheart, I'm really liking that casting. That is going to be, I can't remember what we're saying is we're going to see, like they said, we're going to see Riri for the first time at the end of this year. So if they're going to start filming this does strike me as a 2023. Armor Wars is also going to start filming later this year. I can't remember which is supposed to be coming first, if they've even said that.
I thought it was Ironheart, but I could be making that up. Do you think we will see her in costume, in armor, in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, or just civilian?
I think civilian. They may drop a Easter egg or a comment being made of maybe she's working on something, a suit of some sort, but I don't foresee us seeing her in a suit. Would I be upset if we see her in the suit in that movie? No, but I kind of think that they want to save that for the show.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Yep.
But again, it's really, I mean, I was still in shock when they put Ironheart out there in 2020 saying, okay, we're going forward with it. Wow. All right. We really want to kind of honor that legacy of Tony Stark by bringing in Riri. And I think it's the right time. It is the complete right time. SPUB saying they filmed scenes for Black Panther 2, as said at MIT, so she'll probably just be a student. Yeah, which will be fine.
Sure.
So, all right. Let us actually take our first ad break before we get into the rest of the news. So, listeners, as you know, these ads help keep the lights on in the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network. We don't get to choose what ads come on, and they can be a bit loud, so I'm going to give you that 3 count to turn that volume down before they come on. 3, 2, 1. We'll be right back. All right. So, if you are watching us live or you're watching us later, our background is about this next story. X-Men 97. I was so excited when this is announced, and any kind of little bit of info we've been getting. We know they've already started doing voice work for it. The original actor, a voice actor who's played Wolverine, is coming back. He's taken pictures of him doing his voice work already. So now we got a kind of an update coming thanks to Justin Underwood's YouTube channel. An interview entitled, X-Men the Animated Series. Writers Eric and Julia Lewald teased about their work on the series right now. Praising the work being done by showrunner Bo DeMaio and the team at Marvel Studios, the two revealed that X-Men 97 will be 10 episodes long. It's also prepped for release on Disney Plus sometime in mid-2023. They said there is a great love and affection and respect from the entire group of people that are doing the show, starting at the top with Bo DeMaio and showrunner. They've had this challenge, I believe, looking at 10 episodes for the first season. That's going to come out mid next year, and they're starting it soon after ours ended, which we did hear when this was announced. The team from the original show teased that there would be direct ties between the project and their project and the new one, including picking up right where the series left off in 1996. They said there will be references. Fans will be able to sit down and say, oh, I'm thinking about stuff that happened previously on X-Men, and it's going to lead into, so they're going to be starting from that point onwards and building the stories that they may like to go off into that land. So mid-2023 puts it somewhere in between Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in May or Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania in July, with the X-Men boasting no direct ties to either one of those franchises, save for possibly some multiverse shenanigans going on in Ant-Man 3. It doesn't appear Marvel is too concerned about the animated outing fitting into the overall MCU narrative, but it does say Marvel Studios, X-Men 97.
Yeah, and of course they're not worried about that because they're just going to end up crossing over X-Men 97 with What If at some point. I believe that's going to happen. But here's the most important question. If they're really picking up right where right where X-Men, the original run left, basically, or shortly after. Are we going to hear previously on X-Men, that iconic voice that you hear? I mean, you almost want it to start that way, right?
I think they have to, and I think the fact that they're not. I mean, the fact that they are continuing on, they're getting the voice actors back. They are really wanting to. I'm confident that they're going to lean very, very hard into some of the old tropes. That, I mean, this is a show for us that were watching it as kids.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that, yeah, they're going to have a long previous on it. And again, that last season, you know, had some issues. Well, had some issues. I enjoyed it, but in comparison to the other couple of seasons, there's big differences. 70 episodes though, running from 92 to 96. So it would be very interesting to see, like you said, with some possible multiversal crossover, things like that, to make X-Men 97 canon. That would be quite fascinating.
It would be kind of fun to see some other Marvel Universe characters in X-Men. You know, happened a couple times, and of those, only like one or two of them were really speaking parts. Like, you know, there's the episode with Captain America where he's a major part of the episode. But other times you might see somebody, but they're just in the background flying by or something like that. It was pretty rare that you actually saw other characters speak. And that'd be kind of cool if they could bring in other characters now, because they have pretty much all of the Marvel Universe at their disposal for that.
Yeah. S-Pub saying, previously on X-Men with a series recap to get the fans caught up, but then go straight into it. Yep. All in the game release slot with What If normally gets released maybe. So no What If season 3. Well, What If season 2?
What if season 2 hasn't been scheduled yet?
Yeah, and that will probably also, I think, have a possibility of coming out in 2023 as well.
People are assuming that will be like this summer or comparable to when What If season 1 was, but animation has a really long lead time, and I don't really know where that assumption came from. It's possible. I have not seen anything that made me really feel like we were getting it this year.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, outside of the, possible hints, but yeah, they nothing has said anything about 2022 with What If at that point. So it would be interesting to see 2 animated shows. I mean, Marvel Studios has leaned hard into, since What If, that they have their own studios, sub studio devoted to Marvel animation for this. So,
well, yeah, and we have Spider-Man freshman year coming also.
Yep.
So they're definitely doing it. Now, are you going to do any kind of rewatch before this comes out?
I will. I've been meaning to do a rewatch, but I'm really trying to hold off until I kind of get a firmer idea of when this is coming out. So probably not happening till 2023 at the earliest. I want to do one too. I don't know when I'm going to start it, but I want to go ahead and do a rewatch for it. Oh yeah, it's great. And the book that they put out last year, looking at the whole history of it and the backstories, it's outstanding. Check that book out. It is great. But yeah, I mean, I've just finished my season 1 rewatch of Daredevil, going into season 2 this weekend. So
yeah, I mean, that show's all right.
It has its moments. So
1 or 2.
A little bit. But all right, next story. Let's talk some Spider-Verse. So Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. 2 producers. Well, it should be Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, but I know what the article's getting at. Tease MCU Multiverse Connections. So during an interview with Josh Horowitz' Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse writer-producer duo Chris Miller and Phil Lord talked about the animated universe and its connection to the live-action MCU tellings. When asked about what was possible, Miller replied, "The multiverse is a big and wide, and all the things grow. Why would you think a multiverse in which many things are possible, that those things are not related?" Lord sarcastically said, "Everything's possible except for this one thing that everyone wants." That while the two did not confirm any specific connection, that their comments were meant to make clear that the ties were possible given the endless opportunities that the multiverse presents. Horowitz went on to ask what the two were if they knew what was going on and going to be happening in No Way Home, and if those events impacted their plans for the animated movie. Lord confirmed that Amy Pascal and who was the producer of Spider-Verse and also the live-action Spider-Man, she's been sort of a conduit into knowing exactly what's going on in Spider-Verse in various forms. The writers and director are all buddies of ours, and we sort of have been in the loop on what's been going on. And we're always trying to make sure that we're not stepping on anyone's toes and or telling different types of stories and different themes and all that stuff. Because people want original stories that feel new and interesting, and it's our job to give it to them. So, like with everything, a quote like this, why would you think it would be possible? Gets the Twitterverse of twittering and people talking and getting "we got this covered" hashed byline saying Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is confirmed to be joining the MCU.
I mean, it's welcome to. Let's be clear, it's welcome to. But no, this doesn't confirm it. It really just starts speculation again about getting one of our live action Spider-Man voicing their animated version for the movie, which, hey, if it happens, cool. If it doesn't, okay, no big deal. There's going to be plenty of other Spider characters in this. I do like the idea of it being able somehow to tie in. I think I mentioned this last week, maybe the week before. I don't want a Space Jam scenario, a Who Framed Roger Rabbit scenario where we're mixing live action with animated directly. But if they wanted to, cross over into the MCU or have somebody from the MCU, presumably Spider-Man, cross over into their universe and just get the same voice actors, I would totally be interested in that.
Yeah, I think I think that's one of the things we're really looking forward to is what new Spider men or women or things will be coming into this movie.
What should be Tom Hardy's Venom? Just gonna put that out there. I mean, they released a clip for the first movie. Yeah, as a credit scene of Venom 1. So maybe
they haven't ever referenced Venom in this one, so maybe this one or maybe part 2 because this is part 1 of 2.
I mean, just imagine a animated turd in the wind. It'd be great.
Going down the street, everyone. Hey, it's everyone's favorite line from that movie.
Well, it's the line everybody references anyway. Favorite line to make fun of.
It is. So again, we're putting it in there because, again, it's fun to talk about Spider-Verse. The idea of it, again, this is a Sony property. So are Marvel and Sony getting along? Sure. We haven't heard any official of what's next for them, but they're playing nice and they're having some fun with each other. And I do like hearing that they roped Lord and Miller in, even though their animated movie does not necessarily directly connect to No Way Home, at present. But it allows them to make sure that their movie, as they're saying, is original and they're not necessarily rehashing similar plots.
Sure. Makes total sense.
And our final story, whether you care about it or not, the industry cares about it at that point. Marvel Studios has received the Oscar nominations for Spider-Man and Shang-Chi. However, not the Spider-Man No Way Home nomination that people were saying, it deserves the Best Picture. It deserves to be nominated. Well, it did not get that. Neither did Shang-Chi. The Academy announced that Marvel Studios has got 2 entries for the Best Visual Effects category. Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings and Spider-Man No Way Home are 2 of the 5 films competing for this Oscar. The other nominees are Dune, No Time to Die, and Free Guy. Meanwhile, the absence of Chloe Zhao's Eternals is also noteworthy, especially after Zhao's Oscar dominance in 2021 edition of the awards. MCU films have a common staple in the Best Visual Effects category, with the franchise garnering a total of 10 nominations from 2008 to 2019. Those films include the likes of Iron Man, The Avengers, Doctor Strange, Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame. So, All in the Game's calling a shot right now. Dune will likely win that category.
I can't comment on Dune winning, but from what I've heard people say, it probably deserves a win.
Yeah,
category. But
I would say, the ones who have the best shot are Shang-Chi, No Way Home, and Dune. Out of those 3, I would agree with you all in the game. Dune does seem to be the more likely candidate. I would say the next one...
What were the other nominees?
besides Dune is James Bond: No Time to Die and Free Guy.
I haven't seen Bond yet. I would like to, just haven't gotten around to it. Free Guy, one, I love that movie. It's coming to Disney Plus in the States pretty soon, in a couple weeks, I think. I don't know. That movie was awful clever. I don't follow it. I'll find out who won on Twitter. I won't actually watch it or anything. I did see a lot of people upset that the Eternals were not nominated instead of Shang-Chi or Spider-Man. And I mean, yeah, the special effects in Eternals were fantastic. I don't think it necessarily out of those three, you could pick any two, and I'd just be like, yeah, okay, I get it. All in the Game, Eternals cinematography was better than its VFX. Yeah, I could see that argument. I mean, the whole Spider-Man No Way Home Best Picture thing, did anybody really think that there was any chance in hell that it would be nominated for that?
Well, there's this, going back to the history of how this category got expanded at that point, after what many people consider to be the huge overlook by the Oscars to not include the Dark Knight. Dark Knight at that point, they expanded the category to 10. And so it allowed people to, get other movies to quote unquote bring in a bigger audience of the popular movies. But then they changed how, after a few years of that, they changed how that 10 could be. It'd be up to 10. It would not always be 10. And in order to get even considered on there, it's about first place votes. Your movie had to have garnered at least a first place vote. It's not just, okay, who's got the top votes? It's that how many first place votes did your movie get in there? Now, we do know they were making a push for it, but people seem to think, how could it not be on there? It's over billions of, it's over $1 billion at the box office. It's the most successful movie of the pandemic era.
Because it's not about that.
It has never been about that, and look how much of a big shock it was, a big quote unquote coup for what people say when Black Panther made it onto the Best Picture scene. I mean, I still remember the articles about that.
Was huge, like Joker did too, if I remember right.
Yeah,
and you kind of get it with Joker because Joker it's effectively an Oscar bait movie. Like, it's in that wheelhouse. Black Panther really wasn't, which is why, to me, Black Panther is even more shocking that it got nominated for it. These movies do I personally care? No, not really. I mean, sure, if they win, that's cool. But it's cool for them, the people who created it, the people who work on it, because it means something to them. But this is it's just another continued sign. It's like the 37th time that people have written all these think pieces about the Oscars nomination process is out of touch with the general populace. And that's okay, because the general populace aren't the ones voting on it. They don't get a vote who wins. They don't get a vote for the nominees. If this was like a People's Choice Award type thing, it would be a different story. But it's just not what this is. So, okay, who cares?
Well, they did try to do that when they floated that category of, like, I can't remember what it was called, like, most pop culture movie, most blockbuster movie. Like, it was.
A horrible idea, and it was so pandering and patronizing.
Oh my god, the way they try to do it, even the critics were like, no, that's a slap in the face to them. Like, it's basically saying, like, we created the animated film category to make sure that after when Beauty and the Beast was nominated, that would never happen because they'd have its own category. It was like, no, that's not how that works.
Best popular movie is what it was going to be called.
Okay, yeah, that's awful.
And it's a horrible idea. But Radimus Prime MTV Movie Awards would give No Way Home all the popcorn statues. I know. So, okay, I get the joke there. I actually have said before, like, if I was on a movie, I think part of me is like, I'd almost care more about MTV because it's just more representative of the general populace. No, of course, Oscar is the most prestigious award you can win, but it's an incredibly flawed system, as is. Everybody knows that. They've tried to take steps to make it better, like increase the people who are in the Academy who can vote. Whatever. I looked at, like, the list of, like, the nominees for Best Picture. I'm like, Tick Tick Boom is on that, right? So I'm like, I think I've seen.
No, it's not.
Okay, then maybe Tick Tick Boom is somewhere. I'm like,
it's Andrew Garfield for actor. I know that for sure.
Whatever. Okay, no, it wasn't that. Maybe it was King Richard. I'm like, I've seen like one movie on the list of Best Picture, and I just don't care about the others. I'm not the target demographic for these movies. I think people blow it. Too big deal. Is it cool when they win? Is it good that that Joker got the win it did, that Black Panther got the wins it had? Yeah, it's good for the comic book movies when Oscars. Yes, that's a good thing. But don't be surprised. Spider-Man's not going to win this. Is
No.
not. You know what? They're right. Dune is going to be the one who ends up winning this. Dune is going to win it because he's the one who the most. I mean, look at the comments that Villeneuve said, like bashing superhero movies in general and stuff like that's. He's made those comments. He's bashed the whole HBO thing. That all eats right into the Oscars' hands.
And people, again, it's when it comes down to it, like Ramos Prime Rib is saying, last Oscars I watched was when Dallas Buyers Club won, so it's been a while for that.
Skip that movie.
Yep. Netflix, All in the Game said Netflix Don't Look Up was a surprise inclusion given how badly critics hated it, even though it did very well for Netflix.
Skip that one too.
Yeah, I have not watched it yet. It's on the queue at that point, but a lot of these movies, I mean, I saw a lot of what I consider to be outside of the superhero genre. I saw a lot of really great movies, in my opinion, didn't make the cut. And you know what? So be it. I've stopped watching the Oscars for a while. I'll kind of watch the awards on Twitter in the sense of how it's, what's trending at that point. But it's one of these things that it's always going to be the superheroes are going to be kind of the outsider looking in, and we'll just have to see.
All in the Game, but Dennis did not get a Best Director nom.
He did not.
Which is kind of weird because of all the other categories it did get nominated in. Like, that is weird. Absolutely. But
there is precedent. There's a lot of precedent for that.
It's not unheard of. It's just, it's weird. But you know what? This is one of those things where the people who care, great, they can have their Oscar bait movies and watch them, and hopefully they love them all and they're happy with who wins. And I'm just going to be over here not caring, watching whatever else. I don't even know when that is, but whatever else that night.
I think it's in March.
So I'm watching
Moon Knight.
Batman or Moon Knight in March, right?
Maybe a little bit Moon Knight will be coming at that point, and maybe your second or third watching a Batman, So, but again, we have this. We'll bring this up all the time, just because again, it's again a pat on the back for what Marvel's been doing, and it's if they win, great. If they don't, it doesn't affect people seeing the movies. People are going to continue seeing it. Ramos Prime Rib, yeah, Oscars are not for me, as most movies I watch are not what the Academy looks for. Yeah, that can be there. And All in the Game, Paul Thomas Anderson fluked his nom. So.
Yeah. You'll be watching. You know what?
Oh, jeez.
Here's the thing.
That's good. S-Bubs.
I'll be watching Morbius fan screenings tomorrow. The thing is, I would absolutely go to a Morbius fan screening before I'd watch the Oscars. Let's be totally clear.
Yes, I would too. Fanboy Clay saying, "Dare I say it? The Golden Geeks may be a better view than the Oscars." Yes, it was a great listen and a view. I will.
Golden Geeks more prestigious. Clay told you.
Exactly. Hashtag Clay told you. Again, Travis, you're listening. I know you're producing and editing this later. Clay just gave you a compliment. The Golden Geeks are more prestigious, so bask in that glory.
Now, in all seriousness, it's cool for the people who get nominated. It's cool for the winners. I personally don't care.
Yeah,
whatever, no big deal.
Yep. Well, that went on a lot longer than I thought that discussion was going to be going for, but hey, So yes, Bubs, you kept on trying to push the Suicide Squad on Geekverse last night, and they weren't having too much. But
the original got an Oscar.
Yes, the original got an Oscar. Yes, the Oscar-winning Suicide Squad.
That's right.
Yep. So, all right. So that is all the news for this week. So let us. What do you want to do? An ad break and then get into the rest of the stuff?
That'll work.
Yep. All right. So listeners, we'll take our final ad break for the evening. As you know, these ads help keep the lights on the Geek Ultimate Alliance network. We don't choose the ads come on, but we can be a bit loud. So choose that 3 count. Hopefully it won't repeat the same ad over and over again. But hey, sometimes luck doesn't roll your way. So 3, 2, 1. We'll be right back. All right. We had a lot of listener questions this week, so hit us with them, Brent.
Phil Barker, in our opinion, which established character from the MCU could most likely show up in Moon Knight? Established character. My first thought was Blade. Does he count as established? We've heard one line of dialogue.
We've had one vote and confirmed it was him, but we have not seen, but we have heard.
So let's remove
him
off.
That's low hanging fruit. That's easy. I would. How about this? Wong.
The way Wong's been popping up everywhere, that's not as crazy as it might initially sound.
I don't want to say Doctor Strange just because, I think what's going on in the background and superstition and gods and what's going to be happening Moon Knight, Wong could fit in.
Just to put this out there, I could see Daredevil fitting in tonally with what vibe I'm getting from Moon Knight. So I'm going to say Daredevil, but yes, all in the game. Black Knight, as he's in London as well. I did consider that as well, but it's debatable on how established he is as the Black Knight. So, but I think the Black Knight does have a very good chance of making an appearance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, what we got next?
All right, from Truman, which Marvel characters would you like to see Peacemaker take on or team up? Captain America would be my choice. The opposing morals would be interesting. Peacemaker, Cena did say that that Peacemaker was basically douchey Captain America or something like that.
Yep. Should we get the real douchey Captain America discount?
John Walker? No. Maybe if we watch
the U.S. agent,
watch Peacemaker beat him down. Which Marvel character? I mean, is it too obvious to say Deadpool? Because it'd be fun.
It would be fun. How about Drax?
Oh, communicating between them might be a little hard with how literal Drax is.
That's what I want. I want to see that banter.
I like it. Drax would be fun. You know what? I'll go Rocket. Rocket is who I think I will actually vote for. I think Rocket could be a lot of fun. And just to watch them, especially like seeing Peacemaker's reaction to Rocket, that'd be awesome.
Fanboy Clay's got a few Hulk, Bruce Banner, and Peacemaker, and Iron Man.
Yes. All right, let's see. Oh boy, this question. I forgot this was in here. From Bruce Wayne, if you could choose an actor... If you could choose one actor, who would you choose to play Wolverine? My choice would be Henry Cavill, but that seems unlikely.
Okay, I've got to go back at that point. S-Bub's Rocket versus Eagly.
Endgame Rocket with Eagly would be best buds.
If All Game agrees with that.
I'm thinking it'd be S-Bubs. I think they'd go at each other.
Yeah, All Game wants them to be friends. S-Bubs wants to go after each other, especially that episode with Eagly. Oh, Eagly's got some he
handles his business. So from Bruce Wayne, who would we choose to play Wolverine? He would pick Henry Cavill.
I hate fan castings like this, and I'll just say it because it's kind of like I want a little bit of an unknown, someone who's up and coming, because do I love Henry Cavill? Yes, I do. I think it would be great, but I don't see it happening. If I were to go a current, quote unquote star, it's trying to think. Here's one.
Did you see what Jim Scroggs put?
No. What do you?
Brett Goldstein.
Oh, good Lord. Wow. Okay.
Roy Kent for Wolverine. Yes.
Yes. Okay. I like that. I like that idea. That's something that didn't come out of nowhere. Wow. You win.
That's great.
I would say Taron Egerton.
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
That would be close again. He's done a lot more pretty boy looks than anything else, so it takes some. He's expressed a lot of interest. He loves the superhero stuff. He would love to be a part of it. So I would say maybe just a matter of time with it at that point.
So in general, I agree with you and all in the game. You know, I'd most likely prefer an unknown. I do like the Henry Cavill casting. I think he can definitely play the part. And let's call it what it is. He's not getting the love over at DC, but you know at Marvel he'd be treated well. And the guy. I mean, I am a little conflicted on if I would want it because of all the baggage that would bring. And man, there would be a lot of baggage, but.
Oh, but the Twitter sphere would explode.
It would. He would be a great one. And you know, Danny DeVito, Rodimus Prime. No, thank you.
Those images though of him doing it are quite hilarious.
I think I've heard Snell bash this idea before, but ever since I first heard Daniel Radcliffe as Wolverine, I can see it. I can see it, and not just based on his looks. I genuinely think it would be an interesting casting. You gotta look past Harry Potter. Easier said than done, of course. But I don't have
that Harry Potter problem with it, even though I've gone on record Harry Potter is just not my tempo. Tried it enough times, just not for me. But I'm not saying he can't do it. I just don't see it yet. It has nothing to do with Harry Potter. Just like Robert Pattinson, I had seen plenty of stuff after. You know, the only time I've seen Twilight was when Aaron's made me watch it, just because she'd never seen any of the Star Wars movies. I said never in Twilight, so guess what? We did that as a back and forth. But I need to see a little bit more. This would be a much different part for Daniel Radcliffe's play. Could he do it? Sure. I don't see it right now. I would like to see it happen in the sense of just not necessarily to prove me wrong, but I'm just not. I haven't seen him do something that could say, "Oh yeah, I could see him as Wolverine."
Okay, as funny as the Brett Goldstein comment was, if you actually think about the anger that he displays as Roy Kent, I actually think he could do it. Like, I genuinely do. Yes, he's a comedic actor, but that doesn't mean they can't play the more serious part. I don't normally like. I there's not really anyone else that when I watch television I think, oh, that'd be a really good Wolverine. Like, that's the person. You know, I really can't think. I'm gonna go with Roy Kent. That's my front runner.
Jim Scroggs, you win. I mean that I didn't even think like that, but man, that was great. Bravo.
It's inspired.
Yeah, very, very, very. Espub saying that's why I'd love Zack Snyder to direct a Marvel movie that caused Twitter implosion. Give him Ghost Rider and watch the box office explode. Give him Cosmic Ghost Rider and watch the box office explode.
Make him the cinematographer, and then we can talk.
Oh yes. On the game won't happen, but I can see. Mel Gibson. I think he meant to say Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson.
Well, that was a while ago. Like when I remember back in Wizard magazine that.
No, I think he means Milo Gibson. Mel Gibson.
Oh, Milo Gibson. Oh, okay. I'm not familiar.
I just had to confirm it, but no, Milo is Mel Gibson's son.
Okay.
Apparently, I did not know about this. But
I did not know. What's he been in? I'm unfamiliar.
I don't know him at all.
All the game will have to drop that in the chat.
There's going to be a lot of baggage there too, though. Let's be real.
Not Mel. Milo. All right. Cool.
Okay. Well, speaking of S-Bubs, if we could choose 6 members for the starting roster of a Phase 4 Avengers team, who would they be? And then he says, well, really 7. I'm assuming Sam would automatically be on the team. So I came up with 7. And we'll just assume that the last one would be who I'd cut off if we didn't get the automatic Sam, because Sam is my number 1. Okay,
yeah, I've got Cap. Do you want to just list them off, all our team, or just go one by one?
Why don't you give them all to us?
Okay, I've got Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange, Cersei, Thor, and I kind of thought about, even though I would take either Thor, but if we're going for the team, I was kind of looking for Jane Foster, Thor at that point, Spider-Man, and Kate Bishop.
Did not consider Shang-Chi. Dang it.
When you showed me your list, I said, oh.
I didn't. I was thinking of a bunch of new people, but I didn't. So I put Sam, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye, Kate Bishop specifically, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Thor, specifically Jane, so the Mighty Thor, and Yelena for Black Widow, but I actually hadn't considered Shang-Chi, so now I'm like, well, I don't know who I'd cut.
The only reason I did not put Yelena on there is I was trying to keep this team as not to be just a rehash of
That's
similar
fair.
similar people on there. Hence why I added Cersei, Shang-Chi, Kate Bishop, and I also didn't add Yelena. Not because Brent and I have gone on the record that we need to see more of Kate Bishop and Yelena together. Just more, and again, Q Boys for life. So the Yelena just doesn't seem to be a team player right now. Like, I need to see more of her working. She's very much good on her own, even though good playing off of Kate Bishop and things like that, but she's very much still an individual. So she hasn't grown into the idea of being on a team. She's not where we saw Natasha being a member of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's a team. That, again, she's going off on doing things with Clint and otherwise part of the Avengers. Elena's not there yet. Could she be an Avenger soon? Yes, I think she can, but not for this one.
I am going to cut Captain Marvel and put in Shang-Chi just because I'd like to see Shang-Chi, and Captain Marvel spends a lot of time off-world. I want to address All in the Game. He said, Kate will surely be with the Young Avengers, right? Well, you would think so, but I mean, that's where she goes from the comics, and then I'm like thinking, I'm like, man, she's older than Spider-Man is. In the MCU, she is older than Spider-Man is.
Yep.
And so maybe, but it's not just based on age, of course. Regardless, there are a lot of like good people who could be a part of a core Avengers team, and then of course you have your expanded roster and stuff. We may just need to get a West Coast Avengers or something going on, so we can have multiple squads.
Fanboy Clay. Sorry, it moved up on me. Okay, Fanboy Clay saying, given the resurgence of 2099, do you think Feige would ever consider a non-Spidey animated live-action 2099 movie show? I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it again. Everything and anything is on the table with that man. I think.
I mean, you don't think that? Yes, let's find out what the reaction is to him in Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's on the table and possible.
S-Bub saying, mine would be Chris's team except switch Cersei for Yelena, but Cersei would be a good choice as well. Depends on how young the Young Avengers are. I mean, again, if we're going with, I don't know how old, Patriot is.
Yeah, they really didn't. I don't remember anything that like would let us really ballpark his age. High school age at a minimum, but he could be older.
Yeah, so could, like you said, young could be in quotes. Oh, MSU still needs Ironheart. Yeah, I mean Ironheart again. It's just we don't. Yeah, we could have put that on there. I think it's just so we know we're getting Jane Foster Thor this year, so it's not too far out. Seeing, I think we kind of need to see where Ironheart lands. But could Ironheart be on there? Yeah, sure.
All right, one more question from David. With Sony not putting a release date just coming soon on the new Morbius poster, is there a chance it will be pushed back again? Absolutely, there's a chance it'll be pushed back.
I've been saying it.
It
October.
It technically is tied for the record of most release dates. I had to verify this. I was looking it up before we started. It's had 6 release dates. Wonder Woman has had 6 release dates. Everybody forgets that Wonder Woman technically moved up at one point, back from December to November of 2019. So Morbius has been delayed more times. Wonder Woman did technically move up once, though. Everyone seems to forget that. But in all seriousness, yes, coming soon. At this point, I absolutely think they could decide to push it, and at this point, I feel like they need to just release it. Like S-Bub says, the new Mutants. Just do what at this point, just cut your losses and release it and get it out there, and find out how it's going to do. I think as far as COVID is concerned, knock on wood, whatever you want to say, it's looking like April's going to be a decent release window. So let's just put it out there. And even if it's not, that just gives you cover for why it underperformed. Yeah. And if it does well, that's a good story too. Just put the movie out.
All right, we'll see. But yeah, that was rather interesting. A new poster was just coming soon instead of the April 1st that they were. Bam. Yeah, Fanboy Clay's right. I mean, it could have been a knee-jerk decision. I agree. I think it was knee-jerk. I think the movies that were moving were not necessarily comparable to that.
Well, there was some speculation that they moved it just to give more room to Spider-Man No Way Home.
I heard that. It's
Morbius is like going to stop Spider-Man, but Spider-Man was doing so well that why take any attention away with another Marvel project?
it's the most plausible one, but it makes him look kind of silly at the same time. So, but we'll see. So, again, Rodimus Prime Ribs asking, when is Blade coming out? They are starting filming this year. I don't think they have
I think.
Yeah, this year. They keep on having a lot more Zoom meetings for writing, and Marshall Ali is giving a lot more press about it. So
Hollywood Reporter says film is planning a late summer 2022 production start.
okay.
So, I mean, yeah, that would imply late 2023, early 2024.
Yeah. So, all right. So let me pull up the.
I say that, but the Marvels and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania have both finished principal photography already, and they're way farther out there. So who knows?
2025.
Like who knows when they actually would release Blade when they have movies that far out already?
The Marvel way, huh?
That's right.
So, all right. So let us get to Factor Fictions from last week, and then Brent, you've got yours one loaded up.
I do.
So number one, at least one Eternal will join the new Avengers team. Hey, there we go. Fact: 88%, 12% said fiction. Second one, we will see Tom Holland Spider-Man and Florence Pugh's Yelena Belova team up in a future MCU project. 61% said fact, 39% said fiction. We will will that into existence. And number three, the rumored Professor X cameo in Multiverse of Madness will be the Professor X from the X-Men animated series and not from the Fox live action movies. 32% said fact, 68% said fiction. So we'll see. We will see. So, all right, Brent, hit me with your three.
All right. Inspired by one of tonight's articles, at least one of the live-action Spider-Man will voice their character in one of the two Across the Spider-Verse movies.
So say that one more time.
At least one of the live-action Spider-Man will voice their character in either Across the Spider-Verse movie.
I'd say fact. I want that to happen. So they've been asked that question a few times, and I think they've all really much been on board with that.
Yeah. I totally agree. I think it's a fact. They've definitely expressed their interest, and we know they wanted to get them, or at least Tom Holland, for the first one. Yes.
Well, I have now Googled said image of Milo Gibson, and you're right. I could see that.
Yeah. All in the game asked if we Googled Milo Gibson, and yeah, he does look like Wolverine, definitely.
Yep. So if you don't know who it is, Google, and yeah, I'm agreeing. That's definitely, I can see it.
All right, next up. This is one I've had for a while. The first time we see Deadpool in the MCU, not counting that trailer for Free Guy, I want to make that clear, will be in a credit scene. The first time we see Deadpool in the MCU, not counting the Free Guy trailer, will be in a credit scene.
Yeah, I'll go fact on that one. I think that's a way for him to maybe slip out of a portal of some sort at the end of Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah. When I initially thought of this question, I had not considered the possibility of him cameoing directly in Multiverse of Madness. But I'm going to stick with it, and I'm going to give it a fact as well. And I almost expect it in Multiverse. All right, and final, just because I thought it'd be funny to go 3 weeks in a row. The Madam Web movie.
You had to do it.
Will show at least a clip of one of the previous Spider-Man movies in some form or another.
So Madam Web will show a clip from one of the previous movies.
Thinking like through a multiversal scene where you see lots of different takes on Spider-Man.
Yeah, kind of like the TV screens in Matrix. Yeah. Sure, why not? It's very plausible. Very, very plausible.
I think it is a slam dunk that the Madam Web movie will definitely allude to the other Spider-Man. I wanted to make it just a little harder on me. I'm going to go fact, but I'm more like 60-40 of like actually showing like a clip. Like I'm kind of thinking of like when the Flash in season 2 of that show went through the Speed Force or through the multiverse the first time, you saw like a glimpse of the 90s Flash and a glimpse of Supergirl and stuff. Even something like that is really what I thought of. Rodimus Prime Rib, sexy Madam Web time. Oh, geez, here we go. Yeah, that's going to get talked about.
Oh, yeah.
But so I am going to go fact on it, but it's just barely more than a coin flip for me.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't. Not knowing a lot about the movie at all, anything's possible. So yeah, we'll go with fact. So,
And 3 weeks in a row now without a Madam Web. I wonder
I
how
w-
long we can keep that going.
you know what? I was half tempted to say, so our lead story tonight is in Madam Web. Why? Nothing new happened. Just we wanted to talk about it.
Just wanted to. That's all.
All right, so I'll post those on Sunday afternoon. Give us your opinions on those with your vote, and I'll be bringing 3 new ones next week. Okay, so we've got Comic Book Club, Born Again, issue 229. If you thought Matt's life couldn't get any worse, it does. Continues this issue just as he has hit literal, figuratively, all the sense of rock bottom. He's just gotten the crap kicked out of him by Kingpin. He's got no friends at this point in his mind. No, he's lost his job, lost his home, lost everything, and he's just, at this point, looking to die.
I really liked how this opened with him basically on the left side just laying there, and on the right remembering scenes from when he first was, saved the guy walking across the street.
Yeah.
He's hit by the radioactive goop, and then the time in the hospital after that. I thought that was a really cool visual storytelling.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Like Kelly has just knows how to work kind of that kind of the perspective he has on Matt, like going close, further off, like kind of panning out at that point, and just how the lettering is done with the word bubbles and the thought bubbles at that point. Understand, because I reread those first 3 or 4 pages probably at least 2 or 3 times just to kind of get a sense of who's talking when and where and how.
Yes.
where are we at. So again, just really, really great way to frame the opening of this.
Yeah, and you really gotta kind of read those slow. I reread them a couple times as well because you kind of got to just take your time to go through them slow. I will say this: I'm not as interested in what's going on with Foggy and this girl whose name I can never remember. I'm just kind of waiting on it.
I'm glad it's going well for him.
Yeah, good on Foggy. Foggy needs loving too. He definitely just. He probably killed that guy with that bowling ball, but
okay. I'm sorry. You're when I saw that saying, "Oh yeah, right." When he just runs away after slamming the bowling ball in his face.
No, he would have killed that guy. But I got to be honest, I'm just not as interested. But unlike them for the other supporting cast, the Ben Urich stuff I'm really enjoying. But I always like it when he shows up,
especially like the cop that the quote unquote straight laced cop that lied on Matt, saying he took a bribe or took whatever at that point to get a witness tampering, things like that, just to get the money for his son's operation, only to have his son pass away.
Really reminds me of Daredevil season 3 and Agent Nadeem, who gets the money for his family members and his sister-in-law, I think. I'm now forgetting that for Agent Nadeem. It's not a son, but same idea. The family member needs the medical procedure. The straight-laced law enforcement officer who just gets corrupted by association and by the needs.
This story arc is what season 3 is inspired by.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then of course there's Karen Page showing up, and I'm like, poor Karen. Poor Karen. I just feel so bad for Karen. Like, she's going through some hard times.
But it's an interesting juxtaposition in the sense of how rock bottom Matt is, where Karen is at that point. Yeah. I mean, all our players are at a serious low point. I mean,
except Foggy. Foggy's going strong.
Except for Foggy, yeah. Foggy's still looking strong there, Foggy. My Surrey just activated, so that was interesting. I was like, who's talking? All right, well, that was interesting. Surrey wants to contribute to Comic Book Club, so. But yeah, I mean, Urich's down. I don't think his hand was broken. I think that was the cop's neck getting broken.
I kind of questioned it. The way they did that. I was not clear, because that evil nurse is holding onto his arm.
Yep.
And so I wondered as well, or maybe broke some fingers, or it is just an off-panel thing. I thought that the hand was broken.
Yeah. But then we get the big reveal, of the nun holding Matt. And, well, we know who that is.
The same nun from earlier. In the
same
episode,
nun from
in
earlier.
the issue, I should say.
But just the one page. I mean, yes, that we know what that's calling to. Very, very, very Christian. Basically like the Pieta in Italy, the statue of Mother Mary holding Jesus Christ's body at that point, very similar, and done Musicali doing it on purpose. It's calling back that image, especially Matt being Catholic as well, so the image is not lost on it. But Kingpin basically knowing Matt is not dead.
Yes, Kingpin. Could we have given him some clothes? But
hey, but I love what he said. And now I've shown him that a man without hope is a man without fear.
Yes.
And the next issue, Born Again. So we have hit rock bottom. Now we begin our rise back.
Such a good series.
It really, really is. It's been so long, and I've really, really enjoyed this. So we will read 230 next week. So, all right. So volume 93 in the books. So Brent, tell people how they can follow you and plug your show.
Before that, Rodimus Prime said these stories are in the Frank Miller Companion, right?
Yes, they are.
I was going to say, I've got to assume so.
Yes, he's referring to there are two omnibus collections. One is Frank Miller proper, and then, yes, the Companion is what has not only Born Again, but Miller's The Man Without Fear run as well, amongst other things. But yes, Born Again's in the Companion.
And then, yes, Brentak Prime, Twitter, TikTok. Fans Without Borders, we're recording an episode this weekend. We'll probably talk a little bit of Boba Fett, I would imagine, on there this weekend. A little bit of Batman stuff, I'm guessing, and who knows what else.
All right. And again, we want to thank our sponsor, OrganicPriceBooks.com. Again, for all your omnibus collected edition needs, use that code MarvelGOA at checkout for $2 off every single order. Use it unlimited amount of times. You can follow me on Twitter at Chris Balgo. You can follow my other show, World's Finest True Believers, at Finest Believers. You can follow this show on Twitter at Marvel A Podcast. And you can email the show at marvellianspodcast@gmail.com. And you can follow the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network on Twitter at GUAPod Network. Feel free to email, tweet, provide us fact or fiction ideas, questions, and overall thoughts on the show. What are your theories coming up in Phase 4? Continue to rate and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and whatever platform of choice may be. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for joining us in the live chat. Thank you all for watching. And stay safe out there, everyone. And as Stan the Man would say, Excelsior, true believers. We had 2 weeks in a row with Madam Web. Let's go 2 weeks in a row and talk about Marvel Comics.
I like it.
So next year, this year is the 30th anniversary of 2099. And big announcement coming for us hardcover collectors out there. Spider-Man 2099, the Peter David run, will be collected in omnibus format for the very first time later this year. That announcement was done through Near Mint Condition. Want to give that show a plug with Omar there, making that announcement. That was I have not hid my love for Miguel O'Hara on this. But this one was just also probably very good timing. But Marvel Comics has announced that Spider-Man 2099 leads a revolution in a series celebrating the 30th anniversary. Beginning in May, Spider-Man 2099 Exodus Alpha #1. This all-new limited series will be written by Steve Orlando and brought to life by the all-star lineup of artists throughout the Marvel Comics, including Paul Fry, David Watcher, Marco Castellio, Zay Carlos, and amongst others. The story will kick off when a celestial falls to Earth, bringing a glimmer of hope to the broken world. Sensing a chance for real change, fan-favorite hero Spider-Man 2099 will undertake a journey that will bring him into contact with all corners of the Marvel Universe, from Asgard to mutant kind. Each issue will shift a focus to a new character or team, debuting exciting new characters along the way, such as 2099 Winter Soldier, a new version of 2099 Loki, and a new member of the 2099 X-Men. Retcon, this is a new word, retcon textualizing the core elements of 2099 mythos. Spider-Man's quest for a better tomorrow will be a perfect entry point for 2099 newcomers and an essential chapter into those who have enjoyed the 2099 adventures. So, yes, sign me up. I'm excited about this. Again, it is the year of Spider-Man 2099. Miguel O'Hara is making a big comeback this year.
Yeah, I saw this news. I'm like, oh, you got to be thrilled to get a Spider-Man 2099 devoted thing. Spider-Man is this cool character that works at like street level or cosmic level stories. Like he really does fit in both. And so I think it's going to be fun to see this cosmic adventure with Spider-Man 2099. I'm really curious about this Winter Soldier. That X-Men 2099, they're introducing a new character there. I remember reading X-Men 2099 back in the day. This is going to be fun. I'm definitely going to check this out.
Yeah, I mean, again, Spider-Man 29 Miguel has been in, popping in and out of the main line timeline at that point in comics recently. Nothing beats that suit. That quintessential. Like,
I'm glad he's back in this suit. Last time I saw him was that white one. It was a good suit, but this, it's weird to say about a future character, but this is the classic, and it's such a good costume.
It really, really is. And just seeing if you look up, I don't want to get us taken down, so I don't want to show like some of the images, but look up the Marvel announcement at that point that came out this week. We've got Ghost Rider 2099 on this issue they're doing. We see a new Winter Soldier. We see, 2099 Loki. I mean, the artwork is just banging.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
The different interpretations that all these artists are having 2099, but keeping those core elements, man, this is going to be a lot of fun. It is really, really cool. So these go on sale right now. Again, these are subject to change, but right now, Spider-Man 29 and Exodus Alpha number 1 will go on sale May 4th. So May the 4th be with you and buy 2099 on top of all your Star Wars needs. But yeah, this is very cool. So let us know what you think about this announcement. Are you a fan as much as I am of Miguel and coming back in? Again, we've all said I'm excited about him. We're all excited about his coming back into Across the Spider-Verse. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So
yes,
we will see you all next week. And guess what? We're probably going to have some trailers to talk about. Some big game is happening that's going to be talking about it. So Brent and I are kind of excited to see what we're going to get.
Going to have to work hard to fit Madam Web in next week.
We will try. We will try. So, all right, all. Stay safe. Talk to you later.